What's up everyone? I have a 5 Husky victory for today. This is played on the weekly pack that is from last week and the run ends up being pretty crazy by the end, so I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, I really hope that you subscribe. But here we go. The early game is going to be pretty standard. We are very happy that we are not losing here. In case you don't know what the last week's weekly was, it's basically a combination of a lot of summons, but you also did have the draw engine in the Hedgehog plus the Anubis. And I think that's what we're going to be using at the beginning of this run in order to establish the 5 of a kind Husky and let it scale up a little bit. But we're going to take a level here. I did say that there are quite a bit of summon pets in this weekly, so for that reason I decided to take a flycatcher. But you know how the matchmaking is. As soon as you get a flycatcher, you'll be matched up against no summons whatsoever, so here we're just going to be facing a generic team. Thankfully we don't lose though. The Hedgehog at the back is going to help with its ability, but we didn't even need to trigger it, so we just end up drawing naturally. We're going to keep rolling for more Hedgehogs and thankfully we find one. So we have 4 damage in AoE plus the ability to snipe any summon pets of the opponent. Here once again no summon pets, so we don't get to utilize that ability, but it is yet another draw. Turn 5 we have 0 wins, but we have also not lost a single round. So we're getting deeper and deeper into the draw pool of players that are just running Hedgehog plus the Anubis. I think this weekly also had the Blowfish, so you could do a Hedgehog Blowfish. That is also a pretty fun build you could go for. Here we draw once again thanks to the Sneaky Egg dealing a lot of damage to the Hippo. And we are now going to prepare for the turn 7 level ups. The Husky, as you know, is a tier 3 unit, so we're going to be hoping for as many level ups as possible. And we do have 2 level ups prepared, one in the Hedgehog and another in the Ant. Here we're going to just barely win, actually, getting our first win finally. Our opponent trying to cheese us with a Slug, but thankfully the Sneaky Egg does not care. We get our double levels here, and one of them results in a Husky. The other one, curiously enough, is yet another doggo. It's the Poodle, which I think we will also take at the end of the day. I almost throw past it, but it is a little bit of stats, which I think is going to be very good for us, especially on the Husky, which is going to stay until the end of the game. So here we go, we are starting up. We also put the Anubis in the team, so we'll have a lot of drawing potential. As you can see, the ability of our Hedgehogs to trigger twice during battle is actually incredible. We have such high damage output and our stats ourselves are not very high, so we're going to be killing ourselves but also killing our opponent, which is exactly what we want. I did have a couple of attempts just conventionally lottoing turn 7, getting as many Huskies as possible on turn 7 and getting the 5 of a kind that way. But I was getting unlucky, so I found this strategy to work a little bit better as we draw once again. And now we are on turn 9, so we can start finding Huskies in the shop. We would love to get rid of this Poodle that we have, but unfortunately we did not find any Huskies. At least we did get the one Husky that we do have up to level 2. Not that the stats is going to give now are going to be super relevant, but it's going to be helpful in the future. Here we're going to hop into yet another fight, hopefully not losing again. Double Husky on the opponent, curiously enough. And we are starting to start ourselves up a little bit. We don't die to the initial barrage of snipes anymore. But I think that is very quickly going to change as we weaken our team by purchasing 2 more Huskies. Now we don't have the Anubis in order to trigger the Hedgehog, but I think that is perfectly fine. We're getting well on the way to getting the 5 of a kind, which is exactly what we want. And here I think we'll be kind of lucky to get yet another draw, so we're super happy. We have not lost a single time still. We are only on a single trophy, so the Huskies that we do have are almost guaranteed to go up to 50-50 in stats. Here unfortunately we do not find any more Huskies, but once again we do find double chocolate. So that does mean that we get the level 2 Husky once again. And finally we start winning. Now we finally have enough HP to survive a barrage of snipes. But once again, just as we start winning, we weaken our team once again in order to introduce another Husky into the team. And if we do get a little bit lucky, I think we can also put the 5th one in, but unfortunately we don't find it on this turn. We still do have a 27-25 Hedgehog though, so that can be pretty helpful in us securing a couple of more draws. Here is an opponent who is trying to do something very similar to us, but he actually did put a mushroom on his Hedgehog, therefore he managed to scam a victory from us, which is a little bit sad. We're no longer flawless, but we still have 4 hearts remaining, so I think we'll be good. This is almost definitely going to be a win. We still have not found the final Husky, but we are in no rush, as you can see by us only having double trophies. Now triple trophies, but we still have 7 turns left to go. And once we get the final Husky, which is right now, you can see the scaling is going to start skyrocketing. So every turn we are getting an insane amount of stats that I'm not even willing to calculate. And I also am preparing for the end of the game, when the Huskies gets to 50-50, to put some perks onto them. I think it's a pretty funny concept, like Husky plus perks obviously don't mesh well together, but I think once you get them to 50-50 it's perfectly alright for you to put some on them. And as a bonus, I think for this video it's going to be a pretty fun idea to just try to put as many different perks on the Huskies as possible. Here we're getting our stats well into the 30s on multiple of the Huskies, and you can see even double level 2 Lynx sniping all of the 2 units with the entirety of the snipes. It's still not good enough for them to defeat us, which is super good for us. Here we skip the double perk because I didn't really like any of the selections. You've probably noticed already, but this weekly does not really have any protective equipment, so the best you can do is garlic, I think, and mushroom, which I don't think mushroom is going to be useful for 99% of pets. So yeah, I don't think steak is super useful, and tomato just in general is pretty bad. Here we are going to draw once again, which is incredibly good news for us. I don't remember if this weekly had a lioness or not, but right as I say that, I do see one passing up in the shop, so you could even go for like a potentially 5 of a kind 50-50 gorilla or something that has a powerful ability. But I don't think there was anything all too powerful that we can get destroyed by in this weekly, so I think our 5 Huskies will be good enough as we get a victory against a draw team. Now almost all of our Huskies are 50-50 and level 2. I think it will take only a couple of more turns for us to complete that, and here we go, even the frontline 2 Huskies from this turn are 50-50. Here we get a little bit screwed by the crane that gets the melon onto the yak, but I think it's perfectly fine. We still have sufficient stats for us to win, and we can start putting equipment on our stuff. So we get a melon, we get a pita bread. Garlic potentially could be pretty good to get as well, considering the fact that there are so many hedgehog plus blowfish teams out there. We don't even need a level 3 on the Husky, so I'm even forsaking the chocolate, even though I think by the end of the game I will have a level 3 Husky. As curiously enough, we see a fellow Husky Enjoy right here going for the 5 of a kind. And even though we have the better equipment, sadly we end up losing by just 1 HP. It's all fine and dandy though, because we do have the hearts to spare, and after this turn we will have a full 50-50 team ourselves. We even get a third melon, even though I did say I wanted as many different perks as possible. I think that will be replaced only at the very end. For now though, we're just trying to win, and I think it's looking pretty well for us. You can see we're surviving like with 20 plus HP on multiple Huskies, so I think we're good enough to win. We are going to get a tomato here, which I said that we didn't want, but at the same time we did want to get different perks, and that was what was offered to us, so we're going to take that. So we only need one more perk in order to fill out our collection, and then if we get lucky we can also replace the melon on the 3rd position Husky. But for now it's very nice to destroy yet another draw team. We're on turn 21, so we should be winning pretty soon. Now turn 22, as we get our level 3 as well. We did get offered the fruit of Yggdrasil in the shop, which I could have taken perhaps, but I also quite like this popcorn right here. It can potentially spawn a Kappa out of the Husky, which can be pretty funny to see. So yeah, let's hop into battle. We should be seeing yet another victory, even though this team looks very scary. They are even going to wipe their own tiger, which I think works to our benefit, and I think at the very end of the day we are going to come out with yet another win. So here we go, we are on 9 trophies. I believe this is going to be the final turn. We're going to keep looking for either a cornucopia or just a garlic in the shop in order to replace the melon. I was thinking about the fruit of Yggdrasil, but I think the garlic is just straight up better, so that's what we will be sticking with, and this will be the final team. So I really hope you enjoyed today's run, and if you did, I really hope that you like, sub, do all the generic stuff, as all of the Huskies trigger their abilities and fail, and I will talk to you next time. Take care!